bantamweight bout between Petr Yan and Sugar Sean O'Malley. I'm going to be honest, guys. This might be the fight that I'm most excited about of the whole card. It really might be. I don't know. The main event. Oh, jeez. I think my palms might be sweatiest for the main event. But I'm super excited for this fight.
Gotta be.
Petr Yan, 29-year-old out of Russia. He's 5'7". He's 16-3 as a pro. 7 knockouts, just 1 submission, 8 decisions. Coming off of a split decision loss against Aljamain Sterling. Before that, he schooled Corey Sandhagen. And before that, he was beating Aljamain Sterling, but then decided to throw a very obvious illegal knee on the ground. And lost his belt. Sugar Sean O'Malley, 15-1 as a pro. 27-year-old fighting out of Helena, Montana. 15-1 as a pro. This guy's 5'11" at 135 pounds. Of his 15 wins, he has 11 knockouts, 1 submission, 3 decisions. He also has a no contest in there that just happened against Pedro Munoz for an accidental eye poke. Before the Munoz fight, he was on a 3-fight win streak against Thomas Almeida, Chris Moutinho, and Raulian Paiva. All 3 of those were devastating knockouts. And before his hiccup against Marlon Vera, where he got kicked in the nerve in his knee, he destroyed Eddie Wineland, who is a very tough 35er. So there you have it, boys. This is a incredible matchup for Sean O'Malley. Quite a step up. I think he's ranked, 13th in the UFC rankings right now? Mark, where is O'Malley in the Prio rankings?
So I believe you are thinking of the Prio rankings. He is 13th in them. He is 11th in the UFC's.
All right. Mark, let me stay with you here. Give us your assessment of this fight and your pick.
Such an interesting fight. Petr Yan is favored as he deserves to be. You would think he is minus 275. Sean O'Malley is plus 225. Man, feels like we deserve a break after that last fight before jumping into the craziness that is this matchup. Obviously, Sean O'Malley's making an enormous leap here. Petr Yan is currently the best bantamweight on the planet. That's not one of the 2 guys in this title fight we're going to discuss next. And on a given night, he may even be better than them. And Sean O'Malley's best career win is against Raulian Paiva. Feels wild. Maybe he was going to beat Pedro Munoz. We don't know. But right now, his best career win is Paiva, and he's fighting Petr fucking Yan. So it's absolutely wild to try to analyze this. Throw in the fact that one guy, O'Malley, has a 4-inch height advantage and a 5-inch reach advantage, which makes this feel even more nuts to try to break down. Throw in the fact that the more unproven guy here is the one who is the knockout artist on a level that we don't see too often. And you get a lot of variables that, despite the fact that we know Petr Yan is unbelievable, you kind of sit here thinking like, man, is it possible that Sean O'Malley is going to put this man down? So if you want to talk yourself into O'Malley, you can absolutely do it. Like, if you want to believe, I do think there's reason to believe. He could be this good. He has a lot of physical advantages. He has the more power. It's possible. But, God, I just feel like Petr Yan's such a big leap. I think he's going to give Sean O'Malley problems like he's never encountered thus far in his career. He's going to be the least hittable guy that O'Malley has fought. He's going to crowd his range. He's going to switch stances to step inside. He's going to jab and double jab to step inside and make O'Malley pause and take that step back. And Sean O'Malley does not like to take steps back. Not to mention the fact that I think Yan should look to mix in a little wrestling and force O'Malley to be thinking about that too, so he can't just think he's standing there letting the hands go. And I know O'Malley is a bit longer than Sandhagen and obviously hits harder than Sandhagen does, at least with the hands. But I kind of feel like we saw Yan beat a similarly sized guy already and solve this range puzzle. Again, I know there's more of a threat from O'Malley, but I got to side with Petr Yan in the end. I think that he is just too good at playing with range. And I know O'Malley is also fantastic at playing with range, but I think Petr Yan is just going to be ready for it. And I think he can eat some shots, too, if need be at times. He's really hard to hurt. So I think it could be wild fight for a bit. I think O'Malley could absolutely have moments. But I think over the course of it, there's going to be damage to O'Malley's legs, to O'Malley's body that adds up. And I'm actually going to say that by the time we hit the third, that O'Malley, being a guy who's not terribly durable, breaks in a fight that was very competitive to that point. So I'm going to say Petr Yan, round 3, TKO.
Excellent. Omar.
Yeah, the durability for me is what my mind keeps coming back to. Sean O'Malley is a very skinny dude for the division, and rightfully so. He's 135 pounds and he's 5'11". Not a lot that's on that body. Not a lot of muscle that's defending a lot of the bones that are there. The man looks like he trains a lot. There's a lot of wear and tear on his body. Obviously, I'm sure he does recovery and stuff, but at the end of the day, all those are little miles that he's putting on that body of his. And he's already been injured before in the past, a couple of times when it came to the legs. Once, when it came to the Marlon Vera fight, and the other when he was in the middle of the Sukumtoth fight, I think, where his ankle basically just stopped working or messed up his ankle. So we've already seen him have durability issues against guys who are not necessarily ones who work people's durability on a regular basis. Petr Yan is that guy. Petr Yan is a meat grinder. The man is a problem. His hands are absolutely heavy. His kicks are probably even heavier. And Sean O'Malley doesn't do well with very heavy leg kicks. We saw him kind of take some leg kicks in his last fight when it came to Pedro Munoz. He didn't really, he had a good poker face, but I think at the end of the day, had he taken a lot more of those, it probably would have changed the trajectory of that fight. I think at any given moment, Petr Yan could land something that's really going to hurt O'Malley and change the course of that fight. O'Malley's best bet is probably keeping it at range and using volume to do so. But it's hard for me not to think that Yan is going to take the approach that oh my God, me with the names tonight, Jesus Christ, that Rafael Assunção took this weekend, where he's going to eat one to give back one even harder than that. So I also think Petr Yan's going to win. I think it'll be by unanimous decision, but I think O'Malley will do his best to scrap, but I think this will be a learning moment for O'Malley.
We are unanimous this time. And as much as I want this for Sean O'Malley, and I do, I'm rooting for him. I want him to break through, and this would be fucking cool if, Sugar Sean, knocked out Petr Yan. How fucking amazing would that be?
Oh, it would be insane. And the hype for the title fight would be
insane.
insane.
Oh, my God, yeah. That being said, I think this is a terrible matchup for Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley, I do. I mean, stylistically, it's not just that Petr Yan is excellent, but just the way that he fights. Yeah. Sean O'Malley likes to be in the open floor, on the open court, man. He's running transition offense,
literally dribbling through his legs.
Literally dribbling through his legs. Petr Yan, he's going to be pushing Sean O'Malley up against the cage, for 15 minutes, and he's going to have Sean O'Malley on his back foot. Petr Yan does not back up. Petr Yan will not let him take the center of the octagon, and he's just going to have brutal, super tight Muay Thai. He's going to be damaging O'Malley's legs. He's a great counter striker. I think O'Malley has a puncher's chance, but I think stylistically this might end up being kind of a boring 12, 13 minutes, and then he might get finished in the third. But just to keep it interesting, I'll say that Petr Yan goes home with a pretty decisive, unanimous decision victory over Sean O'Malley, and this will be a there is no Santa Claus fight. Sometimes there is, but this is going to be a there is no Santa Claus fight.
All right, so we're unanimous on that one. We got two more here. I'm very interested.
I want to point out that at some point, and I know this may have an issue doing this maybe legally or with broadcasting issues or whatever, but Beneil Dariush fight, the Petr Yan fight, the Aljamain Sterling fight, and the Charles Oliveira fight should all be fucking 5 rounds. All of them.
Oh God, I know.
Every single one of them. The Chukagian one, we don't need to see 5 rounds of that shit. Every other one, 5 rounds.
I was literally planning to make 2 different points about Dariush and Gamrot going into the later rounds when it hit me that it was a 3-round fight, and I was like, motherfucker.
It needs to be 5 rounds.
Your
man.
brain just assumes when guys are this good that they're fighting 5 fucking rounds.